Welcome to our 17th lecture. This lecture is on transformer protection. To start with, power transformer being static, totally enclosed and oil immersed, develop faults only rarely, but the consequences of even a rare fault may be serious unless the transformer is quickly disconnected from the system. For the purpose of transformer protection types, fault can be divided into three main classes. As transformer have different auxiliary equipment, so fault in auxiliary equipment which is a part of transformer. Faults in transformer winding and connections, that means these are internal faults. Faults in auxiliary equipment which is a part of transformer, then fault in transformer winding and connection means internal faults, overload and external short circuit. Faults in auxiliary equipment. What are the different auxiliary equipment connected to the transformer? That are transformer oil, gas cushion, oil pumps, forced air fans, core and winding insulation. Transformer oil. Now first we will see transformer oil. Low oil is dangerous condition in the transformer because live parts and leads to bushing etc which have to be under oil get exposed if the oil drops below the specified level. That means if these parts are under oil, if suppose this part get exposed to the atmosphere, or this is not oil in oil, then definitely what will happen, heating will be there, that the transformer heating, and heating may cause insulation failure. Oil level indicators with alarm contacts are available to give indication for immediate attention. Now second is gas cushion. Deterioration of transformer oil and insulation is minimized if oxygen and moisture are excluded from the gas space. Okay, as a normal operating pressure within the tank varies rather widely, so sealing of the tank is not always recommended. A pressure vacuum gauge can be used on a sealed tank, whereas also we are using silica gel. You have seen if you visited the substation, then you can see conservator tank is mounted on the main tank to take the expansion and contraction of the oil, whereas silica gel is placed in the breathing vent to prevent moisture from entering. If the color of that silica gel get changed, then definitely we have to replace that silica gel and we have to remove the moisture from the gas cushion. If color of the silica gel changes, that means it is an indication that moisture is present in the transformer tank. So it is an indication. Sometimes a nitrogen cylinder is connected to the gas space with regulating devices to maintain the pressure between 0.5 and 0.8 atmosphere. This schemes maintains an inert atmosphere in spite of small leaks and provides small indication of presence of leaks by the rate of exhaustion of nitrogen in the cylinder. This also give alarms. Okay, now third is oil pumps and forced air fans. Why we need oil pumps and forced air fans? Definitely it is for cooling. Okay, if it is not used, then the oil get heated if it is not cooled. If that transformer tank is not cooled, definitely the oil get heated and gases will form. Okay, so this may develop, there may be fault in oil pumps and forced air fans. If this persists, then definitely it will lead to the serious fault. The top oil temperature normally gives indication of the load on the transformer. Increased oil temperature might be an indication of an overload, or it might be due to the fault in the cooling system. Such a failure of oil pump or blocking of radiator valve or non-operating of fans. thermometer with alarm contacts will indicate rise in the oil temperature due to any of these. An oil flow indicator is commonly used an indicator to indicate proper operation of oil pumps. Okay, now we will see fourth one, core and winding insulation. There may be fault in core as well as winding insulation. Incipient fault may occur initially, which may develop into major fault. Small developing fault are called as incipient fault, and this fault may exist or this fault may occur in the core and winding insulation. Incipient fault may occur initially, which may develop into major fault if not taken care of at the initial stages. Insulation failure may develop because of the following. Insulation of the lamination and core bolts may be of poor quality or has been damaged accidentally during erection. The insulation between the windings, between winding and the core, and the conductor insulation may be of poor quality, may have been damaged mechanically, may be brittle because of aging or overloading. Badly made joints or connections. These are the different faults which are in core and winding insulations. Okay. So for this incipient fault, we have gas operated relays. These incipient faults need not to be attended immediately, and as such do not cause any interruption to the supply service, but must be taken care of as soon as possible. Gas actuated relays described here provide indication around for incipient faults. These faults are minor fault, but we have to take care of this fault. If not taken care, then this may cause serious fault. Incipient fault can create a heat which decomposes the oil into gases which are inflammable in nature. This condition is detected by gas operated relay. Now when you visit the substation, or when you visited the substation, you can see there is a Buckles relay. Every Buckles relay, pressure relay, sudden pressure relays are there. So these relays are used for incipient faults. These relays, they detect and clears the fault. Now first we'll see Buckles relay. This type of relay is used only in those transformer which contain conservator tank, as it is connected in the pipe that is between main tank and the conservator tank. The Buckles relay is connected between transformer tank and a conservator. The conservator is fitted above the transformer tank. That the Buckles relay is connected in between that conservator tank and the main transformer tank. Okay. It consists of an oil-tight container having two internal floats. These floats operate and actuate mercury switches, which in turn gives alarm or tripping. We are using mercury switches. Mercury switches means in that switches we have having mercury. Why we are using mercury? Why not other thing? Okay, this question I will ask in the live lecture, that you have to answer it. Okay. Now we'll see working of Buckles relay. During incipient fault, gas is generated in the form of small bubbles and pass upward through the relay to the conservator tank. In this process, they may trapped in the housing of the relay and the oil level falls. The upper float is no longer under the upward thrust of the oil, hence it falls down and tilts the mercury switch, which in turn shorts the two contacts. This issues an alarm indicating that a serious fault is slowly developing. Now in this, as we have two mercury switches, one at upper level. Now we can see here, we are having two mercury switches. This one is one mercury switch, this is second. This upper one, it gives alarm. while this lower one gives tripping signal to the circuit breaker. When this upper switch will act when small pressure or small heating of the oil is there, oil level of the transformer tank reduces, then there is a gas formation in buck-Cauchy relay, and this will tilt this float, and this will give alarm that the fault is developing. This issues an alarm indicating that a serious fault is slowly developing. So either we have to check the transformer oil, or we need to take care of the other things related to the transformer. Okay, in case of serious fault in the transformer, the gas generation is in the much larger quantity. The oil is displaced in the relay by the gases towards the conservator tank. Due to this, the baffle plate is deflected by the force of oil and gas mixture tilts the lower float, and finally the mercury switch. This will energize trip coil of circuit breaker, and the breaker isolate the transformer from the supply. Look here, as I told, in case of serious internal fault, more volume of gas is generated, and that's why this will tilt this lower float. And so if it is tilting the float, then this float will be horizontal. This contact will immersed in this mercury, and circuit will get completed, and it will give tripping similar to the circuit breaker. Like this your buck-Cauchy relay works. Okay, this will energize the trip coil of breaker, and the breaker isolate the transformer from the supply. This is internal part of buck-Cauchy relay, internal structure, and this is your rough diagram where we can directly see mercury switches. Okay, now second gas operated relay is pressure relay. Sudden pressure relay. This relay operates on the principle of rate of rise of pressure. It has a diaphragm which is bypassed by the hole that normally equalizes the pressure on the two sides of the diaphragm. Therefore, the relay does not operate with respect to pressure, but it operates with respect to rate of rise of pressure. Here you can see it is a pressure chamber, here gas accumulation chamber, here micro switch diaphragm. Okay, what will happen here? The bellows and air chamber, this will generate a pressure. Okay, so this pressure, due to this pressure, there is movement in this diaphragm, pressure equalizing orifice. Okay, so this will check with the help of this diaphragm, and the alarm signal is given with the help of this micro switch. The gas pressure relay facilitate the protection of transformer merely in conjunction with the simple differential relay. This relay has to be made stable against the inrush current. In addition to the buck-Cauchy relay, another gas operated relay is used for the protection of transformer. This relay operates eventually of sudden large formation of gas in the transformer tank. Owing to its operational characteristic, it is known as sudden pressure relay. It is used for transformer greater than 5 MVA size. Okay, so it operates with respect to the rate of rise of pressure. How much rate of rise of pressure is there, and then it will operate. These are sudden pressure relays. Now internal fault, or that is winding faults. This is all about your fault in auxiliary equipment, and for that we are having gas operated relay. Okay, now we'll switch over to the second faults in the transformer, that is winding faults. Electrical faults which can immediate serious damage, which can cause immediate serious damage and are detected by unbalanced current or voltage, may be divided into the following classes. As transformer have two winding, high voltage winding and low voltage winding. Okay, faults between adjacent turns or parts of the coil, such as phase to phase fault on HV and LV external terminals, or or on the winding itself, or short circuit between turns of HV and LV windings. Second faults face to face fault and face to ground. Faults to ground or across complete windings such as face to earth fault or face to earth faults on HV and LV external terminals or on the windings, either face to face or face to earth in the winding faults. A short circuit between turns can start with a point contact resulting from mechanical forces or insulation deterioration due to excessive overload or a loose connection, breakdown of transformer, insulation by an impulse voltage. Okay, so this short circuit between turns will also cause a fault in the transformer. These are all internal faults. Okay, faults to ground or across a large part of winding will result in large values of fault current as well as emitting of large amount of gas due to decomposition of oil. Due to this fault, what will happen? Heat will be generated in the transformer, and that heat will cause oil to decompose and gas will form. This protection types is not difficult to detect, but rapid clearance of fault is essential to avoid excessive damage and to maintain system stability. Now third fault is overload and external short circuit. Overload is definitely, this is third fault in transformer. Overload and external short circuit. External short circuit overload also causes fault in the transformer. Overload can be sustained for a long periods, being limited only by the permitted temperature rise in the winding and cooling medium. Excessive overloading will result in deterioration of insulation and subsequent failure. It is usual to monitor the winding and oil temperature condition, and an alarm is initiated when the permitted temperature limits are exceeded. External short circuit may only be limited by the transformer reactance, and where this is low, fault current may be excessive. Okay, now these are different types of faults in the transformer. For our faults in auxiliary equipment, we have gas operated relay. For overloads, for internal faults, we have differential protection, that we'll see. Internal faults or faults in the winding in the transformer. For that, we are applying three types of protection: overcurrent protection, restricted earth fault protection, and differential protection. In a small transformer, we are using this overcurrent protection. When the cost of differential relay are not justified, a small transformer, overcurrent protection is used in the transformer for protection against short circuit. Overcurrent relays are usually used to provide backup protection in transformers. Okay, now we'll see restricted earth fault protection. The high voltage side of delta star, we are using delta star or star delta or star star. We are using different types of connection: star star connection, star delta connection, delta star connection, delta delta connection. Okay, so these connections we are using in power transformer. Okay, generally we are using delta star and star delta. The high voltage side of delta star transformer is normally star connected, and low voltage side is delta connected. This is due to fact that voltage per phase of star connected HV winding is reduced. It is VPH equal to VL by root 3, so it is 0.70 times, and per phase current carried out by low voltage winding is reduced to again 0.707 times. Okay, this is VPH equal to VL by root 3, while IL is equal to IL by root 3. So here this is due to fact that the VPH of star connected HV winding is reduced to 0.70 times. Okay, in case of star connection, in case of delta connection, we have studied in first year, that what is the relation between phase voltage and phase current in case of star winding, in case of star connection, as well as in case of delta connection. In star, phase current and line currents are similar, while in delta, phase voltages and line voltage are same. Okay. If the neutral of star connected HV winding is isolated or grounded through high impedance, the voltage of healthy phases increase above the phase to neutral value in case of ground fault. The voltage will be equal to the line voltage in case of isolated neutral and 80% of the line voltage in case of high impedance grounding, depending upon the value of impedance. This voltage rise is not limited to the insulation of the transformer only, but also affected the line insulators of the transmission line emanating from substation. The cost of insulation is very high to cope up with the higher voltage stresses. So therefore we are using solidly grounded system. The solidly grounded system do not suffer from this disadvantage. However, the magnitude of earth fault current will be very high. However, considering economics, high voltage systems are normally solidly grounded. What is the necessity of this earth fault protection? In case of earth fault, in case of earth fault on star side of delta star transformer, zero sequence current is not reflected on the delta side. Therefore, differential protection is less sensitive for such fault, and separate earth fault protection is required. When we are using delta star or star delta transformer, then zero sequence current is not reflected on the delta side. So definitely the differential protection is not operating, because this will cause spill current. This will cause spill current in the operating coil. So differential protection is less sensitive for such fault, and hence separate earth fault protection is required. During operating principle of this restricted earth fault protection, during an external fault, the fault current circulates in the pilot wire and no current flows through the relay. Hence the relay does not operate. In case of internal faults, fault current flows through the neutral CT and not through the line CTs. Therefore, CT secondary current flows through the relay and the relay operates if it exceeds the pickup value. Okay, so that's why we are using restricted earth fault protection. At the end, we'll see differential protection and restricted, combined differential and restricted earth fault protection. Okay, at the end you will get slide considering this restricted earth fault protection in differential protection. Okay, now we'll switch over to our third protection, which are using for internal fault, that is internal faults or winding faults in the transformer. We are using this is main type of protection, that is called as differential protection. The volt ampere on either side of transformer is equal. Thus, if CTs on either side are properly chosen, the difference in the current will be almost zero. The CTs on either sides are collected to form a circulating current system. Look here, this is star, this is delta. This star is, now here star side CT is connected in delta, delta side CT is connected in case of star, and their differential relay is connected. Differential protection for star delta power transformer. Okay, this is transformer winding. The differential protection of transformer, also known as most price protection of the transformer, shows ordinary differential protection for three-phase star delta transformer. In star delta transformer, the load current in the two windings are not in direct phase opposition but are displaced by 30 degree, and to allow this, the CT secondaries are connected in delta on star side and in star on delta side. Just now we have seen this star is connected in delta and this delta is connected in star. Differential protection of the transformer is most important type of protection used for internal phase to phase and phase to earth fault, and is generally applied to transformers having rating 5 MVA and above. Okay. Any deviation from the normal ratio of current intensities at input and output ends must of necessity be caused by a fault in the protected part, so that the unbalanced current can be employed directly for the tripping and indicate the fault. Okay, so that means that difference of current should be given to the differential relay. For this reason, current differential protection combines high selectivity with the lowest tripping time. Now, as we have seen how CTs are connected, that we'll see. Okay, CT connection. Since differential protection is based on balancing the current on either side of transformer, the CT connection should be made in such a way that compensate the phase differences between the line current on each side of the power transformer. A balanced three-phase through current suffers a phase change of 30 degree, which must be corrected in the CT secondary leads by appropriate connection of star CT secondary if the transformer is connected in delta star. The CTs on star side of the transformer are connected in delta, whereas on the delta side of the transformer they are connected in star. We have seen just now this. By making the delta connection of CT on star side, a phase shift of the required 30 degrees is achieved. Okay, this we have seen here. This is delta. Here it is connected in the star. Here it is star. It is connected in the delta. It is given to the relay. Moreover, this will eliminate zero sequence current on the star side, while the zero sequence component on the delta side will not produce current outside the delta on the other side. Okay, so that's why also we are using this. When we are using star transformer, then we have to use delta CT. This is universal rule. The CTs on both sides will be connected in delta if the transformer were connected in star. We have star delta star and delta. Okay. Now we'll see what are the different problems encountered in the differential protection of transformer. First is unmatched or mismatched characteristics of CT. Second is ratio change as a result of tap changing. As power transformer have tap changing transformer, we have different tappings given on the transformer to change the current. Okay, so first problem is unmatched characteristics of CT. Second problem is ratio change as a result of tapping. Third is magnetizing inrush current. Problem. Now first we'll see CT characteristics. Unless saturation is avoided, the difference in CT characteristics due to different ratios being required in the circuit of different voltages may cause appreciable difference in the respective secondary current where through fault occur. This trouble is aggravated in case of transformer due to unequal ratios of CTs being employed on either side of protected transformer. A source of ratio error which result in circulating current under through fault condition is the unequal burden imposed on the CT due to unequal lead lengths. As we are using two CTs, okay, so definitely already we have seen this is a problem. If we are using two CT, no, we cannot have two identical CTs. The primary ratings of the CT should be equal to the rated current on either side, where the secondary current can be of the same level. However, CTs have some standard primary and secondary current ratings. Therefore, a CT with either the rated current or more than that is chosen. Owing to this fact, there is a mismatch in the secondary current in the differential protection scheme. This mismatch is to be taken care, and the relay should not operate for this unbalanced current. Now just for example, we are taking, suppose we are using 100 MVA 220 kV 132 kV transformer, delta star transformer. Then CTs will be chosen. For this side we are having 300 by 1, for this side we are having 450 by 1. Definitely this is a mismatch. Okay, there is a mismatch. Okay, whatever value you can solve this. Whatever value MVA divided by kV, you will get near about 250 to 54. Here you will get near about, I think 400, near about 424. Okay, so we are using greater values, the values which are manufactured by the manufacturer, that we are using. So definitely it will cause a mismatch or unbalanced current. Now second problem is ratio change as a result of tapping, as we are using tap changing transformer. The tap changing equipment is a common feature of power transformer which effectively alters the turns ratio. Compensating for this effect by varying the tappings on the differential protection CT is impracticable. So therefore we are using bias or percentage differential relay for this problem. Okay, bias or percentage differential relay. Bias or differential relay covers this problem, tap changing facility and CT mismatch. Okay, this also we have seen biasing. This is biased and this is state characteristics. Okay, we are having two slope, first slope and second slope. Okay, percentage, now we'll see percentage bias relay. This already we have discussed in case of differential relay as well as in case of generators. Okay, percentage bias differential in order to avoid undesirable operation on heavy external fault due to CT errors and ratio change as a result of tap changing, a restraining winding is provided which is energized by through currents. In other words, operating winding is biased and operates by some percentage of the through current, then the relay become more sensitive at low current without tripping for external fault. Under this condition, and if the restraining and operating magnets are similar with the ratio of turns as T, the criteria for operation of static comparator is this, and for electromagnetic comparator this is square. Okay, here it is square, where T is usually 0.4 for generators and 0.1 to 0.4 transformers. Okay, now this you know. Okay, bias, this restraining coil is divided into two halves. Okay, this is your bias characteristics, I1 plus I2 divided by 2. This is I1 minus I2, already you have seen, so I will not explain this again. Now next, in this also problem is that interposing current transform to compensate for mismatch of line current transform. Also, if CT characteristics or current transformer are not matching, then instead of simple current transformer we are using interposing current transformer. This is interposing current transformer. Under ideal condition, the relay through current should be perfectly matched. However, because of ability of CT for specific ratio, there is always some mismatch in the two relay currents. If the gap is not much, the bias can be taken care of this and the relay remains stable against this mismatch. However, the situation is more serious once the gap in the two current is more, either because of standard CT ratio or because of the tap changing transformers. For the tap changing transformer, CTs are selected on the basis of the nominal term, which is generally a center tap. For any other tap position, the CT mismatch would be more. To address this, the bias should be either dynamically changed on the basis of operating tap or set corresponding to the worst case scenario. Okay, either it should, depending upon the tap changing, the bias should be changed accordingly. Okay, if it is not done, then definitely it will cause error. The higher the bias will adversely affect the relay sensitivity. If we are using higher bias, then definitely fault current. If we are using higher bias, then the relay, if suppose fault current fault below that bias, then the relay will not detect. So therefore it also affect the relay sensitivity of the transformer. To address this issue, ICTs are used, interposing CTs are used to match the relay current under through load condition corresponding to the ratings of the transformer. For the tap changing transformer, this is achieved corresponding to the nominal tap, and for any other tap position, the bias can be taken care by CT mismatch. Okay, Now third problem is magnetizing inrush current. This magnetizing inrush current is not a fault. It is not a fault. Okay, but relay may maloperate because the magnetizing inrush current is having higher values greater than your rated current or normal current. So definitely if it is above the pickup, definitely it is above the pickup 10 to 15%, but it is for shorter duration, the relay will operate. Magnetizing inrush is a condition when the transformer draws very large current from the supply while the load current is either zero or nominal magnitude. When the sudden large change in the transformer input voltage is made, the induced back EMF is absent in the transformer winding, but the transformer impedance is present to restrict the input current. The losses in the transformer kept to be minimum by the low transformer winding impedance. Thus, large current is sourced into the transformer. This phenomena is known as magnetizing inrush. When the transformer energized, the transient inrush of magnetizing current flowing in the transformer may be as great as, now look here 10 to 12 times of full load current, and it decays relatively slowly. This is bound to operate differential protection because it is 10 to 12 times of full load current. Okay. So there are number of ways of ensuring immunity from operation by magnetizing surges. How we can achieve? Firstly, the relay may be given setting higher than the maximum inrush current. If the relay is given setting higher than the maximum inrush current, definitely the fault current which is below the inrush current will not get detected. This is a problem. Secondly, the time setting may be long enough for magnetizing current to fall to value below the primary operating current before the relay operates. Second is as it decays after some time. So if you made setting after that time the relay will operate, then definitely that time is very long. For internal fault also, for other fault the relay also operate after that time, and definitely this may hamper our other protection schemes. So this is not feasible for transformers. Okay, so another is we are using these simple remedies are incompatible with high speed and low primary operating current. In the third method, the harmonic content of current flowing in the operating circuit is filtered out and passed through the restraining coil. As we are first method, we are using setting greater than the maximum inrush current. In this case the relay may maloperate because what will happen, the current magnitude, the fault current which is less than the inrush current will not get detected. Second, settings after the time delay of magnetizing inrush current, decay time of magnetizing inrush current, this will also maloperate the relay, or it will take more time for internal faults. Okay, this is also not feasible. So third is the third method is harmonic content. We are using harmonic restraint, or we are separating out harmonic content of the current flowing in the operating circuit and passing through the restraining coil. Why? Because in magnetizing inrush current we have harmonic content, while in case of fault we have only sinusoidal waveform. So this harmonic content can be filtered out and can be given to the restraining coil. That means if harmonic is present, it is a magnetizing inrush current, it is not a fault. Okay, now we see inrush current of transformer. Magnetizing, how we can minimize, or how we can protect transformer against this magnetizing inrush current. Magnetizing inrush current in the transformer contains pronounced harmonics, but the current during internal fault condition is sinusoidal. This just now I have told you. Advantage is taken of the fact in the design of relay for high speed and low primary operating, the harmonic content of the current is filtered and employed for the restraint. Following are the method. Either we are using even harmonic cancellation or second is harmonic restraint. In even harmonic cancellation, in this method, third harmonic and its multiple do not appear in the CT lead, since this component circulate in the delta winding of the transformer and the delta connected CT on the star side of the transformer. Okay, this third harmonic and its multiple do not appear in the delta connected winding. The DC component and the even harmonic can be cancelled out in the operating circuit of the rectifier bridge and employed for the restraint relay. Fifth and seventh harmonics are very less, so it can be ignored. Okay, so we are using either this method or harmonic restraint. Generally we are using harmonic restraint. This is very popular method of making differential relay immune to magnetizing inrush current in the transformer. Figure 6.4 shows the basic circuit of harmonic restraint relay. The restraining coil is energized. Look here, the restraining coil is energized by a DC proportional to the bias winding current as well as DC due to harmonics. The restraining coil is energized by harmonic as well as through bias. Shows the basic circuit of restraining coil is energized by DC proportional to the bias winding current as well as DC due to harmonics. Harmonic restraint is obtained from the tuned circuit XC XL, which permits only current of the fundamental frequency to enter the operating circuit. This is XC and XL. This permits only fundamental component to enter in the operating coil. The DC and higher harmonics, mostly second, are diverted into the rectifier bridge, filling the restraining coil. The DC and higher harmonics are diverted into the rectifier bridge, filling the restraining coil, feeding this restraining coil. Okay, feeding this restraining coil. This is diverted to the rectifier bridge. Look here, it is diverted through the rectifier bridge. For this purpose, it is customary to provide an instantaneous overcurrent relay in the differential circuit, which is set above the maximum inrush current in the transformer, but will operate in less than one cycle on internal fault. This is the fast tripping is assured for all. In this way fast tripping is assured for all internal fault. This is your harmonic restraint relay. Okay, so whatever harmonics present is given through these harmonics wires, and the fault current which is also it is given to this restraining coil. Okay, so only fundamental component is given to the operating coil. We are using instantaneous relay. Harmonic, the DC and higher harmonics are diverted into rectifier bridge, feeding the restraining coil. The relay is adjusted so that it will not operate when the harmonic current exceeds 15% of the fundamental operating current. Both DC and higher harmonics are of larger magnitude during magnetizing inrush. When magnetizing inrush current is there, then DC as well as harmonics is higher. So this will restraining coil have more magnitude. So the operating coil restraining torque will be greater than the operating torque. The relay will not operate. Now, as I told, how differential and restricted earth fault protection is combined, you can see here. This is bias differential relay. This is your star delta transformer. We are using earthing transformer. This is restricted earth fault relay. Okay, this is auxiliary CT. This is star connected. This is delta connected. So we are using star connected CT. As we are using earthing transformer. So this earthing transformer is star delta, and this delta star. Now this restricted earthfall protection, this is star connected, so this will get this will be your delta connected city. This will be your delta connected city. We are using auxiliary cities. Okay, this is about a restricted earthfall protection. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.